In the 19th century, explorers went across the globe to do their favourite thing: explore. As they ventured the less familiar continents of Australia, Africa and South America, all kinds of new animal species were discovered. From the red-bellied titi to the muskox, it was an orgy of scientific discovery. But some discoveries were too incredible to be believed. For much of the era, scientists argued over the existence of the platypus. With its ridiculous appearance, there were many academics who refused to believe it was real, a debate that lasted for almost 100 years. It was the same case for mountain gorillas. Until their discovery in 1902, they were seen as an urban legend, similar to Bigfoot or the Yeti. There was a period of time it seemed like ancient legends of monstrous creatures were being proven true. From every corner of Earth, stories emerged of monsters, often hideous monsters who tore humans limb from limb. And it was in this atmosphere that reports emerged of the Bunyip. This is the story of those reports, of the people who made them, and of the monster they encountered. In the early 1800s, Europeans were gradually exploring and settling Australia, but so little was known for certain about this new continent. It was believed there was a great inland sea or river somewhere within it, along with many other mysterious locations. Explorers often took on the help of local natives, whose ancestors had been there for more than 30,000 years. Sometimes, while in remote wilderness areas, they would hear strange noises in the distance, like the call of an animal, but unlike any they were familiar with. According to their native companions, it was the unmistakable sound of a horrifying monster that should be avoided at all cost. It didn't take long for word of this monster to spread. Known as Bunyip, the nature of this beast varies depending on the legend. Most told that it was a water-dwelling creature, inhabiting lakes, rivers and swamps, any kind of body of water, but could emerge onto land whenever it chose to. Like starving crocodiles, they are known to lurk under the surface until spotting possible prey, be that prey a wild dog, or a kangaroo, or even a human, any creature they could get between their jaws. Lucky victims are dragged underwater to a relatively quick death of drowning. Those unlucky are slowly eaten alive. Get too close to any remote body of water, and you could meet an end like that. Some native tribes would refuse to approach any watering hole they were not familiar with, fearing a bunyip could be hiding there. Some accounts described the bunyip as having the appearance of a giant dog. In others, it was more reptilian, with long tentacles and one enormous bulging eye, and eye that just looking into can cause paralysis. Some even described a mix of both, a beast with a snake-like head, but elephant tusks instead of fangs, and a thick hide of fur. There are reports of every shape and biological trait you can think of. Some say the bunyip are shape-shifters. Others claim different regions of Australia are simply home to different kinds of bunyip. It was said not even natives knew much about it, as they are reclusive beasts, and no one who got close enough to learn of them survived. One legend tells that bunyip hate humans because they see what we do to the environment. According to it, bunyip are kind of nature's guardian, and we are the real monster. Another legend even tells they can command the tide to move as they wish it to. One of the most compelling accounts is from the criminal William Buckley. Found guilty of theft, he was sent to an Australian prison colony in 1803, but he escaped the colony, fleeing into the desert. Alone in the wilderness, authorities assumed he had died soon after, but in reality he had joined a group of natives and lived among them for many years. In his 3 decades among them, he experienced a different world to his own, and on returning to British society, he confirmed the existence of bunyip, claiming to have seen several. But even he knew little about them, instead passing on a native rumour that bunyip have some kind of supernatural power. Still, many people regard his story as proof the monster is real, and to be fair, you can't really blame them. After all, water-dwelling monsters really do exist. They're called hippos. I don't think the bunyip is any less believable than these big idiots. In 1845, giant fossilized bones were found near the town of Geelong. With archaeology at the time being so undeveloped, they had a hard time identifying the bones. So they tried showing the bones to a group of natives, who claimed to recognize them. The natives went on to describe the monster that had long plagued their homeland, calling it a bunyip. This was the first documented use of the word bunyip, giving a name to the already notorious monster. Still, no bunyip was ever captured dead or alive. So while it was once common to believe the bunyip was a real animal species, most people today see it as just another superstitious Australian lie.